Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Succeed with Omid. Today a live action demonstration on something I talk about quite a bit with my clients. Sometimes if there's a physical pain, that's the MEAT operating system kind of sending something through the body, the brain registers it as pain, and it doesn't really know what to do. And yeah, sometimes a physical massage or foam rolling or stretching or even strengthening underactive muscles really can help quite a bit. But we have to remember that the electrical system, the nervous system, sometimes can also be a problem. You can go after the muscle all you want to, and if you don't actually stimulate the nerves well enough, you won't actually get the fix that you're kind of trying to look for. So I'm going to cut to a clip of me working with my fiance on a hip issue that she's been dealing with for a while, tried to stretch, tried to massage, tried to do a lot of stuff, and I used this kind of Feldenkrais-like movement to fix her hip. We're going to cut to that. Watch the whole thing. I really apologize for the audio. I need to get some mics or something like that. But I'll come back afterwards and kind of explain a little bit more of the science about why it actually worked. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Callie, my beautiful fiance, soon-to-be wife, she's been complaining of hip pain, and just go ahead and describe that real quick.
My hip, it feels like I can't extend my leg all the way out. When I do, there's like a little bit of a pinch and tightness here. Sometimes I have like what feels like a burning sensation, that I can't like keep it still, that I have to shift it. I know that I was a runner for a number of years, and that perhaps could be part of the issue. I am also, as Omid would call, a desk flyer. So I sit a lot at a desk and my feet don't touch the floor, so I do this a lot, and this pulls that hip, and it's mainly my left hip that I have issues.
And is there anything that necessarily makes it worse or better, or anything that you can think of, or is it just a constant?
Sitting, long car rides can be really painful after a while. Not stretching.
Not stretching is always a... Okay. So just figure something right now that we can test before and after. So is it that outward leg motion that's kind of stuck, or is right now the symptom not that bad?
It's mild, but yeah, it still feels a little stuck compared to this one that can, I feel like, go further.
Perfect. So we're just going to do some things, see if we can make it better. But really quick, what ends up happening, if I just have you sit up nice and tall. Yeah, belly button right about there-ish. And if I come to the back right here, that's about T10. You don't have to know 100% about the spine, but above T10, above the belly button, with all sorts of small vertebrae up here that are supposed to move and get all sorts of flexibility and turning and doing all this stuff. Underneath the belly button, we start to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger vertebrae until we hit the last vertebra, which is the hip itself. Technically, there's a tailbone under that, but they don't move. Here's the problem. Most people, when they sit, they tend to get underactive underneath the belly button. We can get into videos later about how that turns into reproductive issues and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing we want to figure out right now is that hip bone is the foundation for all of this stuff. The hip bone, imagine like a waiter holding a tray table, walking through a restaurant. They got to kind of stay under that spine the whole time without tipping everything through here. And if you can imagine this like a belly dancer, that from the belly button up, they're completely stable, and their belly and their hips are moving all the hell over the place. So what I want you to do is grab your ribs, right there. And I want you to just think about getting your tailbone lower to the ground while your head bone is above, like crazy, just like that. Nice and straightforward. Perfect. You look beautiful. All you're going to do is 3 different moves. We're not going to go through all 20 reps of this, but I do recommend for most people to get 20 repetitions of this. First one, you're just going to try and tip the pelvis forward and back. And same thing, I'm going to hold my ribs and really just try and get this from the belly button down. And while you're doing that, just make sure you're breathing. And what we want to make sure we're noting about this is that it's not about muscle. This isn't a MEAT exercise that makes your hips stronger or anything like that. We're just stimulating the nervous system. This is about the electricity down there, going after all sorts of organelles and fast twitch fibers and all kind of stuff, trying to get them to control this movement. And while you're doing that, I don't know if you can talk and do this at the same time.
Maybe.
Do you notice a difference from the left hip to the right hip?
Yeah, it feels like this hip is back further.
And you can really see that on the camera too. The leg's starting to fall outwards on the right side.
Yeah.
Try and get down a little bit lower.
Keep doing it?
Yeah, just a couple more times into this angle here. You can kind of see this left leg just kind of falling out to the side. It's not
And it feels
holding you as well.
shaky.
And then the next one we're going to do, really just trying to get only the hip, not even the knees when you're doing that stuff. But then we're just going to go side to side. Try to keep this nice and tall. If I just push down, hold me up tall. Good. Even slower, even smaller. Yeah. And this is a pretty important fault to see right through here. Right foot completely stable, left foot's moving, doing all sorts of other stuff from down here. This is really common for desk flyers. The hip tends to actually turn off through here, especially, I noticed this with automatic cars. This left leg isn't doing anything, right leg's doing all the work. So this foot really starts to actually get underactive and starts to allow this motion to come out. And same thing, voice off. Do you feel any difference when you're going left to right here?
Yeah, this I feel like I could hold for a long time, and when I get here, it's like all shaky and weak.
And imagine just that tray table, right? If a waiter's kind of coming through here and they take a right turn, for example, they're fine. If they take a left turn, they're going to spill everything over the floor. So last time, grab the ribs, nice and super tall.
It's like my tires are flat on that side.
That's a great analogy. Or at least just worn, right? The treads are gone.
Yeah.
You're just going to make little circles. And really when we're talking about the circle, I'm not necessarily looking for it to be that big. The hips are here, but we're trying to look for just the tailbone. Trying to draw a circle. Imagine there's like a pen inside the tailbone. You're just trying to draw the littlest circle. Let's just do for the video about 5 circles per direction.
Like that?
Drawing a circle on that ball. What ends up happening is we want as close to a 360-degree circle smooth as we can. And you'll notice that when you're going one direction versus the other, even though it's the same range of motion, the circles get drawn very differently.
Yeah, definitely. My left hip is like really very shaky when I get to here.
You can even hear it in your voice while you're
Yeah.
talking through this.
And like if I just go like this, it feels very smooth and
Now, really quick, I had Kelly grab her ribs to kind of get that that sort of idea of I want to separate. I'm going to lift my rib cage off of my hips to get just the belly button below working. We're going to take this one step harder just for the homework element of this. Take your hands behind your head. And what that's going to do is it's going to spread the pec minor out up here, and that tends to turn into a big stabilizer. It's also going to open the diaphragm down here, and that tends to turn into a stabilizer. We really just want the belly button down. 5 each, front and back, pushing the ball forward, pulling it back, and without anything above this moving. This is all from down below. Breathing the whole time. Smaller motions are better than big ones. Good. And just very quick. Easier, harder, or the same?
harder, maybe harder.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Then side to side. Breathe. She's doing a great job on camera trying to keep a nice calm poised face, but her heart rate just skyrocketed. And then just 2 or 3 circles per side. Just test them out here. Slower is better, smaller is better. Again, we're going after the electric signals. We're just trying to send it from here down to here. This will do something and send feedback up, and then this says, I gotta send something else to get a better result. And we can cheat this like crazy. Is that
I
true
also
for you?
think that clamshells help too.
Wow, those will definitely help. There is meat problems in here as well.
What does that mean?
Well, muscle.
Oh.
Right? We need to train muscle how to do this, but this is pure just nervous system work, so that's about right. Bring the arms down, and let's just retest. Right? Just let that leg kind of come out to the side, see if it feels any better. Boom.
Definitely feels much looser.
All right. Now here's the important thing. We didn't stretch a single damn thing, and it's better. Stand up. And does it feel better to you there too?
Do I walk around?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Feels better, right?
Definitely feels looser.
So as you can see, very small, simple movements. It stimulates the nerves and the organelles that actually control the muscle well enough to basically create a change. And the beauty about stuff like this is that the way our nervous system and brain work, this exercise actually isn't going to get as much benefit as you think in the real time. We saw a result immediately, yes, but when she goes to sleep tonight, what's going to end up happening is her brain will actually kind of get back into the movement itself and kind of debug all of this stuff and really start to integrate everything much more effectively. She'll wake up tomorrow and everything will feel much better, and then stretching and strengthening and doing all that stuff will actually be more beneficial in the long run. And if you guys want to look into more about this sort of stuff, I've drawn a lot of my inspiration these days from the guys over at Z Health. They tend to think that, there's the brain is the kind of control mechanism, but it's not the first and it's not the last. There's this sensor system inside the body that feeds the brain certain bits of information. The brain then tries to make heads or tails of it and then sends out the muscular signal to try and get the movement we want. So what we can do is we can come in at the first stage or the last stage and kind of give the brain that feedback it needs to better output a signal. So that's it for today. I hope this information was very helpful to you guys. As always, have a happy and healthy rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.